Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Jan and you're watching Jana FX, and today I'm going to make another technical analysis for major pairs for a new trading week which starts today, 3rd of July 2016. Couldn't make video last week, so I will look at what happened 2 weeks ago, and after that I will try to analyze what I think would gonna happen next week. So first of all, of course, again, it's the warning that Forex is a high risk, and you can make money, you can also lose money and lose even more what you invested. So before you decide to trade Forex, you have to ask for a professional financial advice, and all decisions are at your own risk. I only share with you my thoughts, and I don't guarantee, I'm not responsible for any profits or losses you can make. So it's all up to you. You have to take all responsibilities. So if you agree, we will continue. You can continue watching the channel. If you disagree, please change the channel. So okay, it was a warning, and now we can continue. So as you remember, the last video I made, it was actually before the Brexit, and so we had, as you can see on the chart right now, I'm showing you euro dollar. It's previous week, and the Brexit happened the week before. And I did actually make a video before talking about the week, coming week for Brexit. And so that was a major event. And of course, as I was saying, it's going to influence all the other currencies. So it was for pound, for the UK, the referendum, and it did influence the other pairs. So, and let's have a look what actually happened. You remember, if you, I don't know if you traded or not, but that's, you can see this big drop for euro dollar. That's exactly when it happened. So you can see it was actually a very big drop, like 400, nearly 500 pips. So that's how it's actually affected the euro dollar. And what can I say? So as you can see, obviously the week before the Brexit event happened, actually the market was moving around the levels which I had before. You can see again, didn't change anything. And let's just do a 4-hour chart because it's better view on the bigger time frames. And as you can see, it's always around the previous levels. Then the market dropped, and it's actually broke quite different channels, and it stopped by the previous channel we had around this area, and it didn't go down more. And the last week it was it had a bit of recovery, as you can see, so it's recovered. And well, I would say for me, I didn't have any trades because it was not any I didn't see any opportunities for me to go into any trades. And as I'm saying, I'm going to make the technical analysis for this week, but as you know that July and August are not my favorite months. I don't usually trade, or I trade very little, only when I'm actually sure and see anything that can be possible a good trade. So that's why, especially now, you know, after Brexit, I think it was very unexpected by many people. And of course, you saw how it's affection of it. We will look at other pairs too. And for, well, if you know, if UK would have stayed, they voted not to come out from the EU, probably would have been a bit more understandable picture what would happen. But now, because UK voted to come out from the EU, the picture is a little bit uncertain. So I don't think many people know what's going to actually happen, and how market will react, on what news it will be reacting, what is going to listen. It's really hard to say right now. That's why I'm going to make the technical analysis, but the accuracy, I don't know how accurate it would be, because as I'm saying, it's all quite uncertain now, and I have no idea what the market will be concentrating on now. So but we will try, of course, and see what's going to happen. And of course, you know that in October it will be again for a pound in the UK. It will be changing the prime minister, voting for a new prime minister, and that probably also going to have an effect on the market and on the movement. So it's really quite hard to say. And as I'm saying, I will be trading only if I would be sure that I have a good opportunity. So, but of course, the technical analysis is always needed to be done. So I'm going to do and try to do it. So with euro dollar, what I can say? Well, of course, let's start again with checking out the news calendar for let's just look for all the pairs for the whole week. And I'm using dailyfx, as you know, .com, where you can see calendar. So first of all, I'm changing the time. That will be UTC, which I do have in my chart. You know, I'm trading with Talinex, and they're using UTC GMT, which is 0. So this is the time in the chart. And for different time zones, you can change it and see for yourself. So we're starting with Monday, and what do we have here? As you can see, it's not really many news. We do have something for Australian. We have something for Canadian. So as I'm saying, whatever pair, and also for pound, any pair you will be trading, you need to check out for the news and mark them on the charts or in your diary or whatever, so you know that there will be some movements. But there are no huge news, and also American holiday is going to be Independence Day. So I think it's going to be a very quiet day, but who knows. So let's look on what's going to happen on Tuesday. We also have some news. You can see, obviously, we have a news for Australia, and we have very low for euro, some for pound, and we also have quite important news at 9:30 UTC again. It's the Bank of England. There will be financial stability report, so we'll see how the market would react. As I'm saying now, it's quite hard to say what news the market is going to follow. So we need to see, at least to watch and understand what is going to be important. And so we have some news for American dollar, right? Okay, Wednesday the 6th. So I would say the 5th, probably for the pound. Need to mark down that date for 5th July. And what do we have now on Wednesday? A little bit of European, American news again. So we have quite high non-manufacturing. Again, I don't know if I will be trading those news or not. Just see how at least it will react on the news, how the market will take and react on this news. So Thursday again, so we have something for pound, something for American, and of course on Friday is going to be again the most important news is non-farm. So we have well, I have a little bit for pound, medium, but of course the American one is unemployment rate, non-farm payrolls, and also for Canadian you can see is unemployment rate too. So the Friday is another important day, and we'll see what's going to happen. So now we know it's like the major news for this week. Okay, and so let's have a look now. Euro dollar. Have quite a lot of levels here. I'm going to remove some, for example, like these levels. I don't need them anymore because you can see the market is below one of the main uptrend channel. You see it's stayed underneath. It didn't get in, but it looks like it wants to trying to get in. So obviously my thoughts is of course for the next week, for this week, it will either try to get in, or if it will stay behind it, so it will be probably like trading in this area. And of course need to know and to see how it will react on the news again. So removing this, I'm probably going to remove that levels too, so I'm doing it right now on the daily one. Let's just go and see on the 4-hour chart. As I can see that the news event actually was stopped by one of the levels. So possibly, of course, the possibility can be we all have all these levels from the previous weeks I was making, and right now it's stopped between those two levels. So as I'm saying, it did went before in and then come back, and it didn't get inside the main uptrend channel. And so now we need to see what it's going to do around here. So well, also you can see we have a little bit of a trend from here, so it's either correction or it could be a trend. And around here is also quite hard to say because it's still because of that big movement of on the news reaction. So what could it be now is quite hard to say. It still has these main levels. You remember it's all from the weekly and monthly. As you can see, remember that's the most important level, which is quite far away, and I had this one based on these little bottoms. So if we'll go in there, and you can see that level was from the weekly time frame and is based on some touch ups around here, and it's kind of balancing around that level. So what also I can do to try to see what is actually happening is to try to draw. If I can take maybe from that one, let's just see, and to draw it either that way. So we would see that it could be is going in another channel, downtrend channel, so changing the position. So I can try to do it that way, and to see what's this. That's the what we're interested in. So where is going to move? So if can leave it like this. See, because what we have, daily is a bit better view. On the daily one is we have the top, we have another top. So that one is based on the new top. So that's, as I'm saying, it could be a little bit plus, it could be a little bit minus, a little bit higher. And I'll leave it like this for now, because as you remember, the more it touches, the better. And well, if I would do it like, for example, I can try to do it that way. And also here, as you can see, because also it was a momentum, so it could be the stop right here. So what I'm going to do, I would still leave it like this by the maximum bottoms, but bear in mind, just when the market would start move and break around this area, then we have to just bear in mind and possibly move and see if it will go down, to see that will be the first thing to think about. If not, if it will be breaking it, so that could be the next position. So as you know, I would leave it for the maximum at this point, and I probably would just do this one also that way at that point, so just to see if it's actually going down. So as I'm saying, it's either will try to break in, and that could be also the stopping point for the up trend, or it can drop, break, and go down. As I'm saying, right now it's as you can see, that because the whole last week it was kind of not moving too much, doing anything like useful, just like it's probably trying to pick the direction at this point, because there's uncertainty. And so I'm going to make that one and see what's going to happen, of course. So now we have a little bit of something here to look and think of what's to do next. So need just see, as you can see, like previous week we had, for me it was absolutely nothing. It's just not enough movements, no patterns or anything that I would use for any trades. So now need to see what's going to happen in here, and we will be, as I'm saying, we will be starting to break or creating again the channel. So any patterns again, as you can see, that previously it's opened with gap, and another week it's opened with gap, and it could be again this week might be it will open with gap. It could be anything, and of course we'll see what's going to happen on Monday, where it will go, how far it will go. So it's like quite a big distances, but as I'm saying, for me, just wait again, so to see when if it will create anything good. So also, of course, it could be like we know, like different patterns like that. You could look at this one is like maybe one of the patterns you would think. So it could be similar like to flag, if you would just draw it, for example, like this, and see, it might I can probably leave it that way. And as I'm saying, it can break and, like, for example, go down and continue the same movement as it did before, like it was going down. So for example, it will break around here somewhere, or not exactly here, as you know, because it's the end of the previous week. So maybe it will go up some around like this, and then it drop, and around here maybe it'll continue the downtrend, or it can go up. You might use that level. As I'm saying, it's quite hard to say right now because it's just stopped around quite a few important levels, let's say, important prices. But I mean, I can leave it like this, and just to see, remember always you can a little bit adjust just to see what's going to happen. And also with that, you can see you also can do something like that, but might would go like creating like a little triangle here, which is, well, quite possible, but I think I'll probably just remove that and just leave it. This is more like, looks like more going like a little uptrend or correction. So need to see, will it break these areas or create something around there, or maybe it will continue to break in these levels. As you can see, it's actually very important at one of the important price levels around here. So, well, that's for now for me. Euro dollars, I'm saying at this point, that's all I can do. It's all I can see. Need just to see maybe a little bit longer, maybe I don't know, this week. We'll see how it will open and what it's going to do. But as I'm saying, Monday could be very slow. So we'll see where it will move on Monday and Tuesday, and then there will be, of course, big news on Friday for dollar, and it's probably going to be a big movement, or maybe it's not. I don't know. As I'm saying, I have no idea what the market is going to react on now. Maybe it will be watching the more English news again for the pound. So, well, that's all for euro dollar. Let's go for look at the pound, and that's our main pair, pound dollar. the main movement on the Brexit. You see how far it's like 1,600 pips a drop. Okay, so but as you remember that when I was making the previous technical analysis, was kind of sure that the pound will go up. Well, remember when I said that it's jumped into the market, the previous analysis I was doing, and it did actually happen just what I thought it would when it's it was weak. When I said it stopped there, but it's opened with the jump, and it was continuing going up right before Brexit. Well, I don't know. I think, in my opinion, it was actually pushed. I think it was expected by the probably banks that something can happen, that Brexit could happen, and I think it was really pushed, and then it's dropped. That's why it actually didn't have any spikes or anything. It was like quite actually smooth drop. And as you know, like when something like this major, all the levels were broken really, except it did actually stop by that level. You can see it's stopped the first, and then again and again, and now it's balancing around that level. Let's have a look what it is on the weekly one, and you can see it's one of these downtrend channels, the weekly one, quite one of the big channels, and it's going. So I'm going to remove now. You see, we don't need the levels, we don't need to just remove it. And let's see where else I can remove. For example, that also is worked out now. Don't need that. And I don't think we need this too. Except that's now it's sitting in here. I mean, it's also, it still could balance around this level. So let's just see if maybe I do want to leave it for now. Because if you look, I probably would just leave this. Well, except what I could do is maybe, to adjust it. If I would look actually now to see that way. No, not that way. Well, the bottom of this. Well, you see, it's kind of like, if you can take few different candles, and you can see it touches that area, or we can do it that way. That probably, I'll just remove that completely and see. Well, let's do just a monthly one, and you can see the whole picture, what actually can happen. Because if you look, it's actually on the bottom. can't go any further. Like we just have like since 96, and we have like what we had that quite low in 2009, and now it's like it's by the look of this on the monthly chart, it's actually even went down. So it's creating it's keep going down, and so it might continue going down because it can happen. So what we also can have, I can see, is that very big downtrend channel. If we're thinking that the pound actually is going down, then we have like really that big downtrend channel. See if that could be useful to just to see, understand actually where pound is going, because don't have any historic data now, and so now it's kind of uncertainty where it can stop, where it can reverse, will it do something, because you see there's nothing here really. I mean, this right now it's the bottom of 2008 or something, or 2008, 2009, was that 2009? So it's right at the bottom, and will it recover a little bit? Maybe will it continue down, and to be even like that low? Will it go to that level? So anything can happen, because look, if we would see that actually previously, yes, if we had something like this, it's also broke all of it, and even if we would look for these two tops, we'll take that. It's broke everything. See, it's all broke now. So if I would, for example, leave it like that and just see what's what else. So it's nothing really. I think I'll just remove that just to keep it clean. And then I'll remove that. Just leaving the biggest main one. I will draw that level because that's the bottom, and we will see if the market will try to break it back in. Let's just see if it's the same on the weekly and what's on the daily chart. Okay, so that's what we can see. It's started to balance around this level. That's 134. So it's 132 and around this the bottom. And of course now it's just need to see what's going to happen. Will it break? Will it break up, or will it break down? And what's the other levels? Well, obviously it broke like that. If it will try to go back or something, we can try to put based on one of the bottoms, see if it's the only one of the bottoms, the previous bottoms. So it's roughly about this area, yes, or maybe just a little bit higher, to see would it try to go back to, and would that be as another stopping point for pound to go back up and trying to recover. So that's how I would draw it for now, and to see if also what do we have here. And I mean, the pound is quite volatile. You can see it's quite big movements. I mean, it doesn't look like it's big, but if you would look closer, you would see it is like, for example, you see like this one is what it's like. You see it's 270 pips movement, and for example, from there to there it's like 100 pips movement. It's 190 pips movement. It makes very big moves at this point. But again, for me, as I'm saying, like it's quite risky, and I mean, you can try to trade it, and at your own risk, as I'm saying. You can risk it. It's all up to you, all decisions. So just for me, I don't know. I mean, I do like my favorite pair, euro dollar, but now because of all of this uncertainty, maybe I would need to look at some other pairs. But I haven't decided yet what at the other ones look. So maybe we'll see what's going to happen. Will the pairs will move? Like, would the technical analysis still be right for right now what's happening? Will they follow the rules? Because you saw the previous month, the technical analysis for me, all my analysis worked out perfectly for me. It's like 100% worked out for me perfectly, and the whole all this I was trading like all winter and spring and June, but now with Brexit and July, August, it might not be as accurate as the previous months. So again, with the pound, if it's like a big drop, then, well, you can say maybe you can draw something it's creating again, try to do something about when it will try to break this, maybe to do some trades. So if it will open again, it might be a gap again. It also could be quite wide spreads. So I mean, can draw something like this and see what's going to happen, where it's going to go, and what news is going to react. Will the non-farm, or would it be some comments from the Bank of England? What is going to react on? This moment, you can see it's kind of balancing between the low price, the lowest price, and still of that downtrend channel, that say a small downtrend channel, because we have that's the huge one, and that's the other little, which is also one of the main ones, but out of the inside of the big one. So, and what else can see in here? Well, at this moment, I think that's all I can see, and that's all I can do about it. Just really hard to say. So that's how I would leave. I would leave pound. I mean, you see, is nothing really at the bottom. Uncertainty. Where it will go down. If it will go down, if it will break all these levels, where it will go, don't know, because we don't have this monthly again. It's nothing. It's on the bottom. Can't see the previous years. If it was lower, how low it was. The only what we have is this level, which is very low, and it should do something, I guess, around this channel. I would think, or it might be balancing. Maybe it depends what they decide, the Bank of England, what they decide to do, how they're going to do, what they want to push it down more, or will they try to hold it around these levels. So I guess we will see a little bit further, a little bit more results and the reactions. So at this moment, that's how I would draw it and leave it for now. Okay, Australian and dollar. Also, as you can see, it worked. It had the influence on the Brexit. And as you remember, I had a pattern which was on the 4-hour chart. This was quite big pattern as a diamond, and you can see, as I told you, it would have been stronger if it would continue a little bit here to create it, but it didn't finish. And actually, the week before Brexit, it jumped, and actually the pattern worked out well, just as I thought what to do. As a pattern walk, it breaks, it continues the trend, and it did exactly. You can see it did, but it's also before Brexit. It was also pushed a bit more, and then it's actually dropped. And you can see the bottom line, the bottom level is quite strong, which we also had from the previous weeks. It's actually stopped it a few times. It stopped the first time, and again, and now the price is going up a bit. So I can remove these levels as we don't need them. That channel worked out itself for now. And what we can see, what else I can do? We still have that big downtrend channel, and I have still that from the monthly. That level still stays here, because actually Australian and dollar are balancing around that level. I'm leaving it as it is, and I'm leaving all these red lines too, because they're still important as it's all around them. And what we don't need, I'm going to remove, is probably that one, because that also worked out for now. So we're just removing that, and probably I can remove this, because that was for a pattern, for a diamond, and we don't need it at that point. So Well, what I can see that you can see the price is stopped underneath that level. It's actually from our diamond pattern, and so we can now maybe adjust it a little bit, but it's a little bit messy, as I would say, and it stopped about the same level as that high. And well, it could be maybe, again, it's in a daily chart, it might be creating a head and shoulders again, the one of the patterns, because as you can see, that's the one of the shoulder, that's the head, and that's another shoulder. It's actually stopped about the same height as the previous high. I mean, not this one, the before that. So it could be possibly, and so that's why I can draw that. But it's because, as I'm saying, it could be not, because it was the news and it was impulse, and when it's like that, it might not be accurate. So yes, no, that's what we need to see. Well, if it will break, it will go up. If it will not, then maybe possibly it is the head and shoulders. And if it will go down, that's going to be our one of the important levels, which was already here, which looks like it's going to be neck. So if it will break that, it should continue going down, and that would be our next bottom, next point, which I also can just to point it out if it will. But as you remember, again, it could be a little bit, it could be lower, it could be to that level, it could be a little bit higher. So you know that you need to use whatever trailing stop, or just move yourself the stop. So that would be about 300 pips, and from here could be about 170, 160, maybe it would be a little bit low, a little bit higher, something like that. So as you can see on that a daily chart, it's you can't say anything. Well, yes, it does look like it's an uptrend, but because it's you can see the tops. Yeah, we had the lower top, then we had the high top, and here the next top is creating right now here. So of course it might continue go up and up. And if I would, for example, I will draw it like this, so we can see that yes, possibly it could be an uptrend. It could be an uptrend, but as I'm saying, because the news was impulse, we need a little bit more, really need a bit more time to see what is going on. Of course, at that point you can say, yes, it does look like it is in an uptrend, but because the wings, these are the wings of the candles, it might not be an uptrend. And of course, here is, we can say that it also could be a downtrend, because the previous high is high. This is high, and the next is lower. Let's say the other way around. So if we'll see on that, on the weekly one, you can see a bit better picture that it's actually probably even can go from here. I wouldn't go from there. We have like the main chart, as you can see, it's a big downtrend at this moment, and can try to draw something like this and see like that, or just use that for now, because we have all of these levels. You don't want to have too many levels, you know. So at this moment you can see it's a little uptrend inside the downtrend, the main downtrend, and also another our little downtrend is also in here. So just bear in mind this. If you will be doing trades, you just you can adjust and see if the price going and you're in a trade, you just can see, put a little bit high, a little bit low, just to see where it's going, where it possibly could stop. That's how I do it. That's all. I would just leave it like this for now, for a smaller one, and go in the smaller charts and see what is going to be really. So, because as I'm saying, it was a news event. So that's what we have. I'm removing this, I don't need that, the bottom one. Okay. So as I'm saying, need to watch out that area, that maybe it is creating head and shoulders. Maybe because it stopped right at the same height, so it might be, but it's not very pretty one, I would say. But it could be. You see, if it is head and shoulders, so it will go down. but that could be a stopping point. Either that one, if it will go to there, then it could be, well, of course it will might not break straight away, because you can see it's like it can go down a little bit, but if it is, it could be, but as I'm saying, it's not very attractive, not very good one, but who knows, it could be, or it's going in an uptrend channel. And this is again, just we'll be waiting for any patterns and patterns channels. So at that point, for example, here, is it stopped at the same level, where I'm saying maybe it could be a shoulder. So what you can do also is to see and draw that, and possibilities, I'm saying, because it stopped again before the new week, so could wait for breaking that level, or wait for breaking that level, and of course the trades, if it will break that level, go up, so 120 pips could be, and breaking that level, going down. So about, as you can see, this is quite often happens, it's in the middle, it's 120 up and 120 down, and so you can use some of the techniques of trading, and of course we can adjust a little bit. Don't forget to see, it could be a little bit plus, it could be a little bit minus, so just leave it as it is. And so that's what we do on a smaller chart. And let's go back to the bigger chart to see a bit better picture. So yeah, so that what you can see what can happen, breaking that and go up. So again, because of the end of the week, what can happen, just like with that diamond pattern there was, it might be a gap again, so it might jump, and of course it would be quite hard to actually catch the trade. It would be nice if it would be somewhere in the middle of the week would create, or at least you would see this picture on Monday, and so I would place my trades. But because it's end of the week, and if it will jump, it will be gap, then and you know, when the market opens, the spread is quite wide, and so that's why it would have been a very good trade, but it's very risky right now. Is they can't really place any trades. It's and if it will jump high, unless it will be very slow, but who knows? But that's at this moment that's how it stopped, so nicely. Okay, this is for Australian dollar. Now going to dollar yen, and I don't need this level anymore because it worked out also perfect. And as you can see, it was the same reaction on the news event, but I'm probably going to leave all the levels as they are. There is nothing here really much to do. That's the movement, and unless I can do adjust. Well, as you can see, we had a win here, and obviously when the market was moving that way, and can move it a bit, and you can see, you would have seen, for example, if you would go on here and try to adjust, well, probably wouldn't. Anyway, it did try to break it, but it's come back, so I probably just leave it as was. We'll do it back on the main, just see how it was. We had just that important level also here, which is stays. That level stays, but what's going to happen now again? We have some history, of course. It's a bit easier to see what the stopping levels could be. So at this point, at this moment, it's stopped, and if we'll go to, remember I was telling you that was like also like a little shoulder and head and shoulder and so it moves. That's the one of the first stopping point, and if it will continue, for example, walking out, it might continue down the same as it did before previously for dollar against yen. But will it do it or not? We will see, of course, and it's a very long way to that, so quite a long way. But what do we have right now? Of course, it's still in a downtrend channel, and it could be possibly it might stay here a little bit around this level, just like I did here, you see, and probably will be concentrating. Well, first of all, check it out for news for yen, and for dollars would be movement, but of course the Friday would be non-farm, and again depends on how much dollar yen will move during the week to see if it could be a strong news, and it would show the next movement, what the direction, I guess, where it will go, and if it would be possible to do any trades on the news event. So I'm actually adjusting this because let's adjust it back to how it was. Had it like this would be better, because that's the most lows I had, and I'm leaving it like this, except that one. Well, right now this one is not as important because we can move it afterwards. I think I had it like this, something. Let's see, a bit closer, because we had that one was the big movement, and so I decided to leave it like this, because that way it shows me that dollar yen is actually out of the channel, and it's trying to come back. Let's see, it's trying to make it back, so a little bit, so kind of a little bit, it's in or out, and so we need to see. It might concentrate around this area, it might try to go back in, but I think of course the news, as I'm saying, maybe there will be some news for yen also, but still all around the same levels. Nothing's changed. Levels are staying the same. I'm not going to change anything. Just see if I can put any other levels. So, for example, the question is if it will start to break that level. I mean, how strong the news going to be again, I don't know, but of course we need to see if we need to concentrate on something. I mean, it's quite 800 pips, so it could be possibly that area would be the first stopping point for it before it might start to to recover or anything. So it could be around this area, and so we have it's not much around here, so but need to have some points where we're thinking where it can go. So it could be around this area, could be a little bit higher, just based on this area as it was before, or for example that little one. So it could be around here. So it might be like, going here, then might slow down and try to go back up again. So anything like that. But at this moment I can leave it like this. If I'll go on a smaller chart and see if I can actually do any trades, and what else could be done. You can see how it's moving. It's kind of, I don't really like, it's not as smooth. I mean, when you put it that way you can see, but when you start to look actually how big, it's also about 100 pips movements. It's also quite volatile, about 100 pips movements, see? So can do something, as I'm saying again, because of this news impulse. So you could probably draw something like this, and it's breaking, it's broke, and it's only about 20-30 pips down. But again, it's closed the wick. So for me, it's all wick. It was just trying to recover that big drop, and that point it just stopped like this. So what's opening of the week is going to happen. Need to see, but the movement has already happened. It's already moving. It's just as I said that last time when I was making the video, I said that of course the Brexit referendum and after referendum, it probably would need, well, at least a week to see what's happening. I mean, of course on a bigger chart, but this is 4-hour chart, can draw something like that way, but you can see it doesn't touch many things, so you would think it's actually already broke, and by the look of it, it might continue going down. But because it's going to be an opening, it might begin, it might gap down, it might gap up and come back. So that's why, again, at that point you can't really do anything, and just need to see how the market would open, what it's going to do. And as I'm saying, Monday, you know, Monday is going to be a holiday in the US, so could be very slow. But also it's yen, it's an Asian session. It could be some movements. It could be not. But see, you can see, as I'm saying, it might continue the downtrend, or it might trick out, try to go inside the channel. So again, need to just to see and wait for patterns or anything else, a bit more confirmation for anything. For me anyway, that's how I do it. I mean, also it's a bigger, like a daily chart, so you can do something like this and see the breaking point of that, but there is no point for that because we still have that little channel, so it might go up in there or create something in here before actually, for example, for me to do anything with the trades. I mean, yes, can do it that way, but it's very big daily chart. So and we have one, and we have, well, that way it's only 2 touches. That way we have, you see, as I'm saying, because the impact of the impulse of the news is quite hard. As I'm saying, it's probably better to wait for some more confirmations and some more movements to see what is actually happening, what's the market reacts on. I'll just leave it like this for now, and we'll see what's going to happen. Okay, Canadian. Okay, with Canadian, if you remember again, we had on the weekly chart, I think. Well, on the weekly chart, as you can see, we also had, like this, as I'm saying, it's like a head, and this is one shoulder, and this is like a broken one. And same on the monthly. You can't see much. We'll go in the smaller ones. I'm sure there was something else. Yes, on a 1-hour chart, I think we had also a pattern. Yes, we did. Let's do on the 4, so you can see better. So that was, remember I was telling you that it also looked like a head and shoulders, as we had this little shoulder and that head, and this is another one, because as you can see, again, it's about in the same height, the same shoulder that here, and even the wing went the same height as the previous one. And when I was telling you, we had also around here, I said the market will try to either jump in. If it's not going to break that level, it will go down. And it will try to work out the head and shoulders pattern. So, and the first stop hour would be around this little area, and the next one would be down to here. And you can see it's with the spike, it actually did try to get to the bottom. It didn't, stopped a little bit higher, just as I'm saying, it's not always going right all the way. It can stop a little bit higher, can stop a little bit lower, but it did work out. So that was actually our head and shoulder. And in my opinion, I mean, I know that some might disagree or anything, but that's how I see it. As I'm saying, this is all pure my opinion, and it's not based on anyone's influence or anything. As I'm saying, this is all just what I think and what I say, and that's how I do it. That's, for me, it was head and shoulders, which actually worked out itself, I would say, perfectly. Let's say 99%, because 100% it would be for just go right to the exact level, but it worked out anyway. And you can see the news did move it backwards, so it didn't continue dropping. Dollar Canadian. Let's just go on again bigger chart just to see what's happening now. And what's happening now is so the big lines, big levels I'm going to leave, I think, as it is, because nothing, so we have here still kind of going an uptrend. Well, still might create, you can see it still might create a shoulder, but maybe not, because it's as I'm saying, here it was broken, now it's messy, it's very messy, but I'm going to leave that level, you can see on that, on the shoulder, but I want to see what's the other level, because I have two little levels, and oh, that one from the smaller one, and I probably need to remove it. That one, as I walked out, because it was for that little pattern, so I'm going to remove this. I don't need it. That's the important one, because that's for a bigger model, for a bigger chart here. You can see that's where we had stop, and this is where we can see it's actually balancing a bit. And so what is going on with this? Again, you see it's very uncertain what is actually happening, because it went up and went down and up again, and it's going down. So that's stopping around the same level. I mean, I can draw that again, and to see if that is just doesn't want to go. So kind of a little bit about the same level, so this I can see. And let's see, bigger picture again. What is it? What is trying to do? Is it changing anything? So I had the previous uptrend channel. So if I can try to actually change it, maybe we'll have something different. It could be a little bit like this, could be a little bit like that. I think I'll just do it by the maximum bottom, and we have see, we have a little top here, we have bottom, another tops here. I think I'll just put a little bit higher to adjust it to a little bit adjusted. Plus minus, as I'm saying, when it gets close to the levels, that's where you need to start worry about. So that could be this way, or it could be the other way. Could be this, might be it started to go down inside the channel. So it could be that it started a downtrend, as you can see. So that was we have the one bottom, we have a top, and we have another top, and the previous top was higher. That top is high, and this is the lower. So it could possibly be a starting of downtrend, and if it will be, we can expect it going something like this. But we have some other levels around here, so I think I'll just remove that for now. But just bear in mind, if you will be trading dollar Canadian, bear in mind what the news are going to be, and based on this. So as you can see, as I'm saying, that shoulder might be creating it, so that would be one of the points. It might be, or possibly, if, for example, if I will draw it that way, it could be a starting of the downtrend. So you can see like this. It could be possibly even using that one, that top. So like plus minus, as I'm saying. So it could be that it started a little one. So at this moment it's an up, but also this uncertainty in this area, it might be down, or because it's creating right next to around this kind of broken shoulder, broken neck. So it could be possibly, if it will continue up, it might go right to there, or it will go down maybe. So it's quite can play around this area, I guess. And but I'm saying, because of all of this, what happened with all of this news, anything can happen now, could go in any direction. So at this moment, I think I probably just leave it as it is. I mean, I know it's quite a lot of levels, and trying to keep the picture as clear as possible, but that's how it is at this moment. I mean, you can see again, let's just see again, that's the neck, that's the one of the important levels, neck, as you can see, because it's really balancing around it. Then we have, that's the shoulder, the previous one, that's why I have this level, just in case to know if it's actually is not creating a shoulder. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, so that's why we have that level. This is our a little uptrend where it sits right now, because we have, you see the top here, and this bottom is lower and this bottom is higher, so it gives us an idea that it actually might go up, but because this top is lower the previous ones, and you can see even those ones, that it's uncertainty. That's what it tells about. It's uncertainty where it's want to take a direction. So on a smaller chart, again, as you can see, now we have all these levels, and I can go even on the 30 minutes, and all of this, as you can see, like for me, like I didn't trade or anything because there are no patterns for me, and I didn't see any like kind of channels or anything. I didn't want to do any risks, but what let's check it out. Again, you need to check out how much it's moving. It's also moving about 100 pips. The moves, yes, 130 pips. So, well, this is probably not too much, but still about 90 pips. But now, for example, I have levels, so maybe we'll come out with something, because dollar Canadian might be not as bad as like euro pound, because dollar Canadian, well, you can see the news when the news happened here. It wasn't wasn't any spikes or anything. It did move quite smoothly. So, but of course it's also influenced by that. I mean, here what can try, for example, because it's in these levels. Again, depends on Monday how it will open. Might jump. If it will be very slow, then could be possibility. Again, let's just see for that. For example, could try to go into trade, but need to adjust to see where it will go and where it will be going. So it could be, see, because it's the opening will be here. Can't really see and can't really do it. That is not, could be not as accurate. So, but it's about 190 pips. So as I'm saying again, depends how the Monday opens. Can see what will be happening, and it could be some trades done. And if for example we'll create something around this level again, how far is that? This is about 80 pips. So for a very small profit, maybe I will go for, or maybe I will not. I need to see what's going to happen on Monday, because you see quite often it stops and creates something at the end of the week, like before the opening of the week. That's why it's quite hard to say or do anything right now. At least we do have again levels. And as I'm saying, with that one, for example, if it will continue down, we'll break that level. Then this maybe plus minus a little bit lower, might be a little bit higher. That's why it could be a risky one. Could be a little bit higher, as you can see. Just because right now it's all on these spikes, on the wings, because too many wings. Well, I'm going to leave it like this for now. Just like that, leave it like that for now. So just see, we'll see how it will open on Monday. If Monday is going to be too quiet, need to see what it's going to look like for Tuesday. And as you know, it's dollar Canadian, so it's American session. The main movements, big movements, American sessions usually, and but Monday America is having a holiday. So that's why we need to, maybe we'd have to wait for Tuesday. So we'll see what is going to create around this on the 15-minute chart. What's going to create? See, it's balancing around that level for now. So, and then will be a decision, but we have all the levels at this point. Okay, and euro pound. Okay, euro pound. Okay, it broke a big downtrend channel, as you can see, one of the major ones. So on the news it did come out, and so we can see that it's actually stopped around what we had previously. And I think I need to make a point here, probably where that movement, so if it will continue up, where it could possibly stop. So if the first stop, it could be around this area. We probably put maybe a little bit higher. Well, we have here like some tops, and we'll have a little bit here tops. So the first one would be here because it's the first one. And then of course it's all can go up to higher highs. As I'm saying, depends on how you trade. It's just changing the stops or using the trailing stops, because to catch the whole movement, the whole is quite hard usually. Okay, we don't need this. I see it's worked out now. And what did we stop on? We also had, remember I was telling you, like shoulder, head, and shoulder, which actually pattern worked out, and that was the first stop. Remember I had it, and it actually did stop and didn't continue go down, and it went up. Well, obviously on the news event reaction, and so well now it's going up, going and up, and so it's going up. So what it can do in here, so we can try to, let's see, do we need this? I don't think we do need this, and we had that already. It's all worked out. I mean, I can try to draw it that way, and of course it's not, it's as we know, it would have to do some corrections and create some patterns and channels, and this was like, this is the monthly, as we have weekly, and of course we'll try to put this into the channel. So as usual, everything we're trying to put into the channels, but it still might need some more time. As I'm saying, well, can leave it like this, because we have the top and we have bottom, another top, another bottom is going up. Well, obviously, I guess I don't need that little one, but with the opening of the week again, so that's our first stop. For example, it might jump, it might have a gap to this area. So it's about 300 pips. So, well, yes, you can see we can put this in the channel and just see what is it going to create. Okay, it's here. It started to a little bit balancing. You can see a little bit creating a something, but I guess there is nothing else to look at this point, I would say. So it does create. It's a little bit slowing down around there. So kind of see it's actually went up. I mean, I could have, if you would like, did it previously using this bottom, the stops, and to see a little bit, just go on daily again, where it could balance a bit. It did balance in here, so just a little bit more. So it does, well, leave it like this for now. As I'm saying, plus minus a bit. I'm always looking for any patterns. It's balanced around there, but it's just, it's not creating anything at that point. I mean, you can see it stopped once and then stopped second time. So it's twice. It stopped in here, and but there is nothing to say at that point. If will it continue going up? That would be one of my stopping point. And if it will continue, if it will go down, then it's what, about 260 pips. So that would be a other stopping point. It's usually, well, 400 and 250. So it's not exactly in the middle, but kinda. If it would look like this again. So yeah, it's either, it might be a stopping point, so it might turn around, maybe balancing, maybe would round here and then continue up. So it might be. So it might be slow. Maybe it will continue go straight away. So at this moment there is nothing can say. There is no any like patterns or anything to look at, but that's all it has. I mean, yes, it creates something. I mean, on the smaller charts, what we can do again, but really need to wait and see how it will open, how the wick will open. I mean, you can see it's also that level if you go in 1 hour. So that way, I mean, this is quite far, but it has another like little touches, and it could be another like a point of it's breaking. Well, as I'm saying, when the market opens Monday, need to see how where it will go. Will it break it? Will it not? For example, will it go? Well, it's not going to be that way because the market would open around here somewhere, and so we need to adjust. We'll see if it's going to be any use of that level or not. Because if it, for example, if it sits inside, we might would need to adjust a little bit to, like, for example, lift that level a little bit higher and then see how it will continue. Its movement will continue a bit up, it will jump down, but this is our area, and where we can have a attention on. So, well, as I'm saying, it's like it's about in the middle. Maybe it will go a little bit higher to be in the middle for going up or going down. So then you can adjust and, for example, do see, so could be like about 300 up, 300 down. So it might be balancing around the area, and so if it would, then you just we would move these levels a little bit higher, that level, for example, yeah. So then you can move a little bit higher, as you can see, and that's what could be a point to see that maybe do any trades on the way back, or if it will break the other level, or on the way up. So that's how I see at that point how I see euro pound. So we can see it actually does on the smaller chart. Time frame is balancing a little bit. So we'll see what's gonna happen, and if anything could be done. I mean, we had again, for example, that would have been like breaking how much? See, about 90 pips. It's not a bad, could have been not a bad trade, for example. Or when it was from the previous week also, would have been this trade, for example, but quite slow. That one is quite slow, but still about 70 pips, so could have been. Okay, we can leave that probably, because I'm saying that's already blocked. So just need to see how it's going to open, because I'm saying I can't really use it. I can't put it anywhere. I can't put it high. I can't put it lower until the market opens. And what happened on Monday? That's what usually need to see to go into any trades. But, I mean, I probably wouldn't even draw this, because, as I'm saying, it's not opening the market. I'll just draw it that way a little bit and just leave it, and then see the adjustment. Okay, well, I guess that's all for now. As I'm saying, it's quite uncertainty, just as I expected after the news event. It's very uncertain. I mean, you can take risks. It's all up to you. As I'm saying, it's decisions of any individual decisions of what to do and continue trading or not while it's uncertain conditions on the market, in my opinion. So that's all for now, guys. Thanks for watching. If you really like the video and you don't want to miss new ones, don't forget to subscribe, and bye everyone.